welcome. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell. Share the show. The little Cash App links down at the bottom. Jingle, jingle, you know. Now, I know you're probably thinking, hey, man, we over here donating for more consistent content. What the hell happened to you last week? That wasn't my fault. Well, it was and it wasn't. Your boy got himself a little strike, y'all. So, yeah, I'm in trouble. And I'm going to tell you what they didn't like. See, now we need to start calling these episodes. I'm going to have a little fun real quick. Put the fruit emoji of the fruit that the first banned episode that only a very few of y'all saw. Put the fruit emoji of that fruit that episode was named after. It was a Kool-Aid flavor. It was a Kool-Aid episode. We're going to start calling them the Kool-Aid episodes here. Those are the ones that get banned and taken off real quick. And I'm going to make sure that those get on the private site. But put a fruit emoji in there. This is very obscure. I know a lot of you are like, what the hell is he talking about? The very few of you that know will know. And I'll see. Gonna have a little contest. But anyway, yeah, I got a little strike. YouTube does not like when you talk about certain things in any way, whether or not. See, I want you to notice something. For those of you, about a couple hundred people saw that last episode, the first episode about media. For those of you that saw that, you'll notice I had a lot of citations and stuff up there. And I normally, I'd be like, I'm going to put it up. And I don't really put that shit up because y'all know what I'm talking about. But this time I made sure to have pictures on everything. On both my media episodes, there's a lot of pictures on stuff. I wasn't quoting stuff that wasn't known fact. That's the whole point of this show. You notice you never hear any deep dive, dark web, unprovable shit on this show. That's the whole point. It's stuff you can easily Google that nobody will deny. If I sit there and tell you Mark Zuckerberg said people told him not to say things about certain things, I could post a video link of Mark Zuckerberg saying that on Joe Rogan. It's not some deep buried knowledge. That's the whole point. These are all buried leads. These are all things that you should be very alarmed about happening right in your face, and they just go right by you like, yeah. So I had a whole episode queued up. I had to ease back, y'all. They put me on a week strike. I wasn't able to say anything for 7 days. So as you are hearing this, I was able to alter an episode to add on the new information. It was sort of a blessing in disguise because sizzling, hot, sexy new political information directly pertaining to us Negroes happened to come up, right? Nuri Martinez and the LA City Council, of which she was, up until most recently, the president of. This is a levator, if I've ever seen one, for black politics. This should be an exposure and an opening for a number of things for black people. So for those of y'all who aren't aware of what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you a brief recap. Nuri Martinez is the president of the LA City Council. Very powerful position in Los Angeles County. And her and a number of other, and I'll get you the names in a second, but I just want to give you the 1,000-foot view. Her and a number of other prominent Latino businessmen and politicians on the council were having a secret meeting on how to screw over all the other racial groups, with particular focus on black folks and white folks. I want you to put white folks with, to the side as an asterisk. Now, the part that they want you to focus on is that Nuri Martinez said disparaging things about black people personally. The part that they don't want you to focus on, and this is what I want to get into on this show. This is what we're talking about with media and omission. This is going to go over all the things I was explaining to you in these previous 2 episodes. What they don't want you to focus on is the fact that, what did I tell you is the definition of 2 or more people agreeing to work together on something in secret, specifically something that they are aware of would be bad if the general public were to know. That is literally a conspiracy. See, people play with words and terms and how they say things. It makes you thinking that conspiracies can only be theoretical. There can be confirmed conspiracies. They were planning a conspiracy. They were going to conspire to agree to work together in secret, to work together for the sake of Latinos only. They were gerrymandering. They learned this from white folks. Gerrymandering is a tactic where you split up certain people that you know are inclined. You basically split up a location in order to cobble together a county. You know the people over here are going to vote for you and the people over there are going to vote for you, but all the people in the middle aren't going to vote for you. So rather than trying to go get their votes, you split up districts in a way that only carries the people that you know are going to vote for you. Gives you a lot of concentrated voting strength. And it minimizes the voting strength of the people that you're playing against. And these people are focusing all that energy. They were talking all that energy. The parts you should be focused on this little conversation is that they were focusing all their political strategy on black folks. Not because they even have a personal beef with black folks, but because they do have a personal beef with us, but the strategy and the time to attack is because we're so politically weak. Now, what you should be asking yourself are a few questions, some on the long term and some on the immediate term. Immediately, you should be, as they are, reviewing many of the decisions made by those councils. But black folks, we should be looking at ourselves and going, okay, one, what are our guys doing to counteract that? And that's where you should really be concerned. This is what I've been telling you guys for episodes. When I said the real problem with the black community, the real problem with black people, we don't have leadership. Say what you want about Nuri Martinez, and we're going to say a lot of things tonight. Say what you want about Nuri Martinez. She advocates for her group. She knows why she's there. She knows what it is. And by her group, I don't just mean Latinos or even Mexicans, because they didn't want the black ones from Oaxaca that are natives. They didn't want them niggas. They wanted them offspring of the Hispaniola Empire, Hispanics, the white ones. She doubled down in her exit speech. I did that shit for y'all. I did that for y'all. She sound like Swifty Blue. Now, this is to be expected. This is to be expected Because when people know who they are, they know who they aren't. There is no rainbow coalition and all that bullshit. The coalition been dead. The coalition did exist at one point in time because it was beneficial to them to have a coalition. So they had to sit there and, oh yeah, we're friends. They had to sit there and play that game with you. But when people are all on one accord, they know exactly when it's time to turn on you and exactly when it's time to strike. They sitting over there, you thinking y'all friends and chummy, and they looking at their homeboy in the corner of their eye. Yeah, get him. Because they've been setting this up. You don't think it's weird that all this anti-black Hispanic talk popped up right before this? Black folks have been getting run out of California from a political standpoint. Policies have been made to make things harder on you and easier on them and run you up out the town. It ain't even just money. You've been getting your homes firebombed. And when you retaliate, you get arrested and get deported out the state, right? You're on Skid Row. So at some point you have to ask yourself, how is that happening with the black and brown coalition? Oh, and then these tapes come out and you realize it makes perfect sense. But the real question you have to ask yourself, you should be looking at this like a bunch of chess pieces from the other team, all on your squares, advancing on your territory. And the very first question that should come to mind is, where are my pieces? Where are my guys? Where are my black equivalent of Nuri Martinez? Where's my Shaniqua Williams, who's going hard in the paint for black people, who gets caught doing some dirty, underhanded stuff, but if it would have worked, it would have helped a lot of black people out, who's going out on her shore, who's going out on her shield in an exit speech saying, black folks, I was doing it for you. Yeah, I was scamming the state. Yeah, I did a big PPP loan as the city council member, but that money I was scamming, you saw what funds it was going to go to. It was going to help our neighborhoods. I did it for you. You see, there's people protesting outside of her house and stuff like that. But you notice you don't really hear a lot of outrage from the Latinos. They're like, shit, she ain't said nothing we don't say at home. There ain't nothing that Nuri Martinez said in that interview, said in that meeting. There ain't nothing any of those Latinos said in that meeting that you don't hear at a George Lopez show. Let's just keep it real. That's how they feel. To keep it real, she went kind of light. I didn't hear the word Mayata getting thrown around. Like they weren't a couple of tequilas in. They weren't comfortable. You could tell that was one of the meetings to where they went off in some little meeting room, some little conference room, and they were blowing off some steam and getting their game plan together as far as the redistricting. That's all it was. All right, guys, we got about an hour and a half to get this knocked out. Oh, God. Oh, those niggers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't stand them. And also, her complaining about the little black boy owned by the white dad or whatever, low key, she had a point. See, she understood how this people of color game works out. When she was saying he carries that little black boy around like he's an accessory, he do. She was right. What she was trying to say is, oh, he gets to use his... See, those Latinos take umbrage and because they're jealous of the fact that black, when it comes to that people of color, let's keep it real. The black is the main color. The black, even people like, what's that white woman's name? Ann Coulter. Even even those real old school conservative Barry Goldwater whites that they know civil rights are for blacks. Tricks are for kids. We got civil rights bills because what we did to black folks. All you niggas came riding off the back of that shit. We don't owe you nothing. Everybody here in America knows that. They know that. Mexicans, you lost a legit war. You had the upper hand back then. Mexico had a better army than the United States back then and lost a fair and square damn war. It's part of a treaty, bro. Like, what do we do? You weren't even considered citizen. You lost a war. So you don't have as much of a justice claim here, straight up. So they get jealous of the fact that, okay, black folks are seen as like legit justice claim survivors here in America. And he gets to sit here on this Martin Luther King Parade Day float and be considered a black because he's got a black kid. She's right. You're basically a slave owner. You got a little pet and you're coming out here on Martin Luther King Day with your black son. Corny as shit. That I kind of give her a pass on. The real heat that she was talking about, when it comes to black people is that redistricting and depowering, that undermining, while smiling in her. Remember, she's saying all this while telling you she was at Juneteenth events and Martin Luther King Day floats. So just imagine, she's sitting there at black events that are ceremonies to remind you, hey, SA, your little ass is here because of us. We let you in. Look at all the shit. You don't have a Mexican MLK here. You can't name one goddamn dude. You don't have a Mexican MLK. You don't have a Cuban MLK. You don't have none of that shit. Not one of you niggas from any of you little countries got an MLK here in America. That is the reason you are here. That is the reason everybody's here. None of you guys got that shit. None of you guys got a single amendment on the board. You haven't done a single thing politically to advance the lives of anybody here in the country. Niggers have done it. Why haven't you? Exactly. You're at events like the Juneteenth events and the Martin Luther King Day events to commemorate and remind your ass of this. And you're sitting back thinking this shit about black folks. Remember that. She was at these, she's openly talking in the meetings that she was at these events thinking this about you. And they're talking about redistricting and gerrymandering you into oblivion. And we all know what's already going on, not just in California, but specifically in LA. And I want to point out to you that this news clip that I'm giving you and what this guy says is two very important things. Note how he says the Latino political machine's worst enemy is itself, not in the way it thinks. He makes it very specific, but in the fact that they get in their own way. Translation, they talk too damn much. They start saying the quiet parts out loud. He's not tripping off of the actual damage that they want to do to you, black people. He just is upset with the fact that why did you have to go and say it and blow our cover? See, this is a much bigger controversy than even black folks can think about right now. White folks are, remember I said put white folks to the side. See, she wasn't just talking shit about black folks politically. They were saying something that has now officially confirmed something in white folks' heads living out in the Southwest. They were talking Reconquista talk, talking about taking that shit from the Anglos and all that shit. They wasn't buddy with white folks. And truth be told, white folks have been the ones setting them up to take over on that side. And now they're realizing, oh, these niggas is double crossing us. They are looking at it like they're separate from America. See, that shit was un-American, how she was talking, not just from a moral standpoint. It was contrary to it was like, we're going to flood California and take it back for Mexico talk. You got to really listen to what this lady's saying, and not just the part that they cut out for black folks to listen to and be like, you see how she talked about you guys and said you guys are dumb. Fine. Look at what she's really saying. She's talking about and then note that there are other people in the secret meeting that they've been meeting in for a while. There's reference to there's been other meetings. See, these are the things that I listen for. There's reference to there's been other meetings. They've been working together for a while, doing this and working out a plan together. This isn't something new. Take note of the other people in the room. This is why I said when I look online on social media, I don't just look at the quote that the person said. I look at all the likes and the retweets and the comments underneath of all the people that agree with it. When you hear these Hispanics say these things about black folks online, on Twitter, on YouTube, and you look at all the different, yes, I agree, see, all the shit that all these niggas that's agreeing with them, that lets you know there's consensus, right? Pay attention to the people that are around the people too. It's not like these people are shouting into a void. Nuri Martinez is stepping down from whatever, but look at the different people that are involved. LA County Federation President Ron Herrera. Council members Gil Cedillo and Kevin DeLeon. So 3 council members and an LA County Labor Federation president. See, that's how the headline should have read. The president and 2 fellow council members of the LA County City Council and the Labor Federation president of LA County conspired together against black people politically, conspired to gerrymander black votes. See, this is fixing. Oh, I got to be careful. Conspire together to gerrymander black people's votes out of existence. That's the real stuff. Forget that kid. Forget that kid. That's not the racist part. But these type of things will go right over our heads without proper political maturity. Because we shouldn't be offended by what they were doing, because if we had political maturity, we'd understand that this is to be expected. This is to be expected. If you're out on the streets or whatever, you know there are people that are trying to rob you, people that are trying to steal you. I just left my car unlocked and someone broke in and took it. Yeah, you left your car unlocked, dumbass. You know, we have to expect these things. Like I said, again, where are our guys? Where are our people that are the equivalent of this, making sure this don't happen? You notice these are the quietest voices you don't hear right now? You notice that? It's not like, okay, you just found this out with Nuri Martinez and immediately you're hearing the black counterpart of the black contingency on the council and the black national politicians and the black popular LA politicians that are networked and connected in are coming down, checking and making sure this is going right. No, you don't hear shit from any black politicians right now on any level having anything to do with LA, California, or the United States of America or Earth. You don't see any black representation, which is indicative of the real problem. Black people politically, nationwide and locally, have been told to work with these people, and you've been slowly inviting people into invading your damn castle. Now, under normal circumstances, with as bad as LA County is and South LA in general, They even got you changing the term and the name. Niggas used to say South Central Los Angeles. Now the South LA, they taking the black out of it on every level. Normally, I would say it's done. There's such a low number of black folks, and it's so bad, it's kind of a wrap. But with the way she did it, I repeat my opening statement. I see a big opening. Because she threatened white folks who are already under big threat of genetic annihilation. She threatened white folks with Reconquista. That's genetic annihilation threats. See, they exposed their hand that they were planning to turn on everybody. On everybody. They're not very, see, that's another problem with that Hispanic vote, is they're also not very politically mature. It's not just a black people thing. What I'm trying to teach on this show today is positioning and timing. So I'm going to make this really clear. They just gave you an opening with white people. See, sometimes white folks focus on black folks so hard, they don't focus on these other groups. And every now and then, these other groups do something that makes white folks have to focus on them for a while. 9/11, for example. 9/11, for all my East Coast black people, especially New York, 9/11 was one of the easiest times to catch a cab and one of the most easiest times to walk around as black people. White folks' focus was on Arabs. Arabs. Now with this, Hispanics are still by and large seen as the face of illegal immigration because of their proximity, specifically Mexicans, but also Central Americans, because of their proximity to the country. We're about to start seeing, as a result of that right there, right-wing Republican marketing towards immigration reform. That right there, not what she said about black people. Listen to what she said about white folks. Now white people see what their game plan is, and it's now confirmed through Nuri Martinez that it's a hostile takeover. White folks are going to do the best they can to stave that off right now because of some weird shit like that she said. You just gave Republicans an opening to jump on the fear that middle America white folks are going to have. Hearing an actual politician, actual council member conspiring with other Latinos against the white folks. That's going to make these, see, that red wave is still coming. We're going to start seeing tighter immigration reform. And black folks, I'm just saying, there's an opportunity there for us to take advantage of these openings. But we got to be willing to take it. We have to start formally. See, Trump's first campaign, people don't remember this. Trump was the one talking about the dangers of immigrants in black neighborhoods. Trump was using black families and showing black families who were attacked by undocumented workers in violent crimes. And they were black families. That's why they were so mad at Trump at first. Trump was exploiting that shit. Taking the veil away from this illusion of black and brown unity has got to be part of a strategy for black people politically. It doesn't got to be hostile, but we have to start calling it out again. And I almost sound like a Phil Scott fanboy at this point, but the man don't miss. When he's on the show, the topics on the show are always poignant and right on key. And he's been beating that drum of interviewing Afro-Latinos. This is where foreign blacks can be of use. Afro-Latinos exposing the anti-black racism in Hispanic culture. Not just one or two guys, within their culture. You have to be the one to be able to tie this shit to the politics. See, once you realize this, that these people have a disdain for you, but they've seen you as a useful tool, just like white folks, you'll start to realize that some of these Hispanic groups own some of your black targeted media. Look at who used to own the Griot as of a couple years ago. It was like UNICEF. Where does all your black, brown coalition, these are our brothers programming that's in your head come from? Where is all this Latino and hip hop history shit coming from? At the same time this is coming out, no one's even asked the question, who recorded and leaked the meeting? Who was all there? You see, they're asking that question. I guarantee you Nuri Martinez is asking that. Who the hell recorded and put that out? Who was all there? I was there. De Leon, you were there. Herrera, you were there. Who was all there? There's somebody in there. See, those politicians, they keep dirt on each other all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if every last one of them recorded that meeting and didn't tell each other. Somebody got screwed out of a deal. Somebody squealed. Where are our guys? I ain't heard shit from Maxine Waters. You see how they think of the black politics. They're like, these guys ain't shit. They'll do whatever we say. They're a paper tiger. And we are. Now that we're aware of that, how do we become more politically powerful? How do we avoid in LA County? Look at the areas where we are, at least on paper, politically powerful. You see the things she was fighting over. She was fighting over the airport. Remember how I mentioned last time about how in Jackson, Mississippi, the racist white governor, he's fighting the black mayor to get his airport? They want to take revenue creating things from your grasp. Look how she was talking about taking the airport. Look how she was talking about taking the resource making things from the city to power her folks, to power her businesses. How are we going to control these things? These aren't the things that we vote on. And to be honest with you, you can't blame that on black people because these aren't even the things that our black ass politicians even run on. Oftentimes, our black ass politicians aren't even in control of these things when they are the mayors. We don't notice these things until something breaks down or something goes bad and we ain't got no damn running water. You can't blame black people for not having their own running water when the mayor ain't even in control of the damn running water. Something's wrong at the top. Somebody's not taking care of us at the top. And we're all tax-paying citizens like everybody else. Make it make sense. This meeting with Nuri Martinez makes it make sense. The emails with Brett Favre and the phone calls with Brett Favre, where you're seeing the money get diverted over to Brett Favre for a damn tennis court, makes it make sense. Now you're seeing what I be telling y'all about all the time, about how they really operate. And then they turn around and they blame black people for our own. No, it's your environment that is controlled. These are governments. LA County is a government. It governs LA County. Your government, key members of the president of your little government, of your county, is conspiring against you. Damn near openly. Where are your guys? You have to have an army on all fronts. You have to have This is where you need representation, not just a figurehead, not just a token. This is why it's important. This is what I'm telling you is the real problem with black people. We don't have adequate representation. For anybody who's ever been to court, there's no worse to feeling than knowing that your lawyer ain't shit. No worse to feeling. You're a defendant. You're getting accused of something. You get caught up on something. Or you're suing somebody or something like that. Or they're countersuing. And their lawyer come in all sharp. Your lawyer come in 15 minutes late with his briefcase upside down, sweating. Hey, guys, I couldn't find parking. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Hey, saying your name wrong. Oh, God, I'm going to go to jail. Like, no. You don't want a public defender. You don't want a pretender. You want actual representation. Someone that not only looks like you, but knows what they're doing up there in that position. My pilot got to know how to fly. My lawyer got to be the best lawyer. My doctor got to be the number one doctor. I don't want him just looking like me. Like, what are you doing? This whole Rainbow Day parade, Care Bear stare, Care Bear hug, Rainbow Coalition BS is BS. But they've been planning. What the hell have we been doing? Where are our guys? That's the number one question black people should be thinking. And the number two question that black people should be thinking all over the country is my team adequate? I don't want to hear, and I've repeated this before. I don't want to hear us being only whatever percent of the population when it comes to voting in our counties. Louds count, places where we 60, 70, 80, 90% of the population. It's a black county. It's a black city. It's a black whatever. A black district, you can, anywhere where there's a black person as a congressperson, as a representative, anywhere in America, you can best guarantee black folks got the advantage with the numbers. There's enough black people to where white folks had to put a black person in that spot. There's no way to play that off. Those are black districts. So that means that black people have complete control of those areas and complete say of who goes in there. When DC was a black district, they couldn't get rid of Marion Barry with crack smoke coming off his breath. And that still bothers them, that black folks had that much power in that important district. That scandal should have got him X'd out day one. We were like, nah. We like his policies though, which we really did. Marion Barry wasn't a coon, and the bitch did set him up. Just to be fair. So I say that to say this. Now you see what I'm talking about having the wrong fools in the role. Every black congressman and congresswoman needs to be audited. Everyone got to be looked at. That's how we need to look at this Nuri Martinez story. Do we have a proper counter to a Nuri Martinez in every black political position in office? Or do we just got people that are just there, that are just placeholders, that are just black faces in high places, don't really know what they're doing, don't really advocate for black people, wouldn't be down to do some shit like this? We need black Nuri Martinezes all over in all of these black positions. That's my soldier. That's who I want as a... It's sort of like, I don't know if any of you guys watch football, but in football, there are players that you hate. Ooh, you hate that son bitch when they're on the other team. But you sure low-key wish they was on your team. You would love them. He plays dirty. As soon as they trade him and put him on your team, he plays to the whistle. You know what I'm saying? He gives it the extra try. Yeah, I didn't see it. Now he's on my team. All that stuff I hated him doing, I love it when he does it for us. I love it when he does it for us. I need an entire political playing field full of Nuri Martinezes for black people, trying to tilt the scale for black people, willing to get caught up and have to resign and being able to say, I did it for black people. Everything she was trying to pull off would have greatly helped Hispanic people living in America. They would have loved it. They would have benefited. Why isn't Maxine Waters doing that for black people? Why isn't Jim Clyburn doing that for black people? That's what we should be asking. That's our problem. Where's our counterpart? These council roles are things that a lot of young black people who are FBA, a lot of young black people who are down with ADOS, who are politically minded, these are the things that I want black folks to start taking over. These council spots are a lot easier to get. The qualifications are very, very low. The campaigns you would run would not cost you a lot. And you really would have to lay down some ground game, go out and shake some hands and kiss some babies in that community. But you could become a council member. I know people who are I live around the corner from a council member in my community. It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all. See, a part of this problem we do have to admit is on us. And that problem is we've been dismayed so much with the political process, we've become completely detached from it. We need to start not participating in it. See, they use the wrong words to us because they want us to do their bidding. Just go out and vote. No. We need to start having an agenda of our own. We need our own conspiring. We need our own conspiracies. We need our own things where it don't take much to take over a city through the city council. It really don't take much, especially when you have the numbers. Now, we can't do something like that in LA County as black folks, as being realistic. That's going to take some serious intervention. But in all of these, like I said, Louds County, you rule the roost. You rule the roost. You can easily start taking over some of these districts. You can easily start taking over some of these counties. Not hard at all. We just have to have a political interest for it. This is where you would want, see, and this is a good spot to start. All these black communities, you start in your counties. This is where you want to put an army of Marcel Dixons. This is where you want to put an army of those type of people. I want to talk real Project Takeover one day with y'all. Not just, talking about it on the internet. You want to really quietly slip under their radar. Just slowly start taking over one by one with people that have your ideology secretly. You see, when ADOS tried to go in and do a loud, proud Project Takeover with the NAACP, the NAACP is a seasoned veteran coon group. They saw that coming because you identified yourself. How else would they not see it coming? And they instantly made moves to block your path. If you're trying to take something over, a hostile takeover, you don't announce yourself. This is some covert things that are supposed to be done. So I'm going to wrap up here in just saying that we need to start building our council members. We need to start building our districts up with like-minded, active-minded political people that don't have an agenda that just serves the top-down party. You want to start taking this stuff over. These are the softest targets you can find. And again, as I've said many a times before, but I'll say every time because it bears repeating. Every time we do this in the black community, we're forcing the Democratic Party to have to come in and address problems with their base. That's the worst thing you can do to a campaign, because now that stops that party, that stops that campaign from expanding its message and trying to get more votes and get more influence outside of itself. If you got to keep going back and fixing things with your base, you got to keep going back and defending your base. The position you want the Democratic Party in, now and forever, is in a position of having to worry about and fight for its black votes, like it does with everybody else. You've been a captured vote way too long. We've been a captured vote way too long. And now it's time to flip the script. But we have to have proper ground game, which is getting all this low-hanging fruit. But see, all politics really is local. You got to have localized ground game and have your spot secure. Otherwise, we'll be in the same position with the same problem as them, trying to secure our base. We are the base. We have to get ourselves on accord. We got to start taking over these council seats. We got to make sure that the seats we do have are filled with people that aren't sleep at the wheel like the sleepy time tea niggas in LA County. We have to politically fortify ourselves in all the positions where we have absolute influence and power. I don't care about that 13% of the population shit. That's national. Where we're at, where our numbers are strong, where we're focused at, we should have total political control in that region. There ain't no excuse for having a Jim Clyburn in office. There ain't no excuse for having a Sheila Jackson Lee in office. Ain't nobody voting for these people but us. Signing out.